Most people raise millions to build a company. He took on millions in debt and built an empire from nothing. Watch to the end and you will see exactly how he turned a dying airline into the most important low-cost carrier in history, and why it matters to anyone who's ever felt underqualified to start. He bought a dying airline for less than $1 and turned it into a billion-dollar empire. Was he brilliant or just insane? Tony Fernandes wasn't a pilot. He didn't study aviation. He ran a record label. And yet, in 2001, he walked into a boardroom with only 1 Malaysian ringgit. That's just 25 cents. Just a single quarter coin. And walked out owning AirAsia with 2 aging planes and 40 million ringgit in debt. No roots, no profits, no backup plan. That coin didn't buy him a company. It bought him a storm. So how does a man who knows nothing about the airline business end up changing how the world travels? Here's what 1 ringgit really bought. A failed airline that nobody wanted with a balance sheet soaked in red. 2 aircraft worth less than the fuel they consume. And a global travel industry still reeling from 9/11? This wasn't a startup story. It was a rescue mission without a rescue plan. But Tony wasn't chasing planes. He was chasing a feeling that flying should be as accessible as music. He didn't see an airline, but he saw a stage. But belief doesn't pay bills. And the next 60 days would push him to the edge. The banks wanted nothing to do with him. 5 meetings, 5 rejections. So he did what most would not. He mortgaged his home, sold his car. Then he turned to his team and said, "No salary this month, only stock and shares." And just 1 shot. They said yes. Because Tony had seen something backstage in the music industry, something no airline had ever understood. He had watched unknown bands sell out arenas, not because of ads, but because they created tribes. He didn't have a business plan. He had a strategy from the world of rock and roll. And it was about to get tested. He launched with a big bang. A 2-day guerrilla blitz at music festivals. Red t-shirts, QR code. In a world where an average flight ticket costs north of 1,000 ringgit, the offer was just 99 ringgit to fly anywhere AirAsia went. No media agency, no TV budget, just raw hustle. And it worked. 85% of seats filled. Planes that had been grounded finally flew the big blue sky. But then, just a year after launch, just as momentum was hitting, SARS hit harder. Travel bans, empty terminals, revenue flatlined overnight. He was back to zero. Only now, he had a company and a crew that depended on him. But he didn't fold. He picked up a marker, crossed out cheap fares, and wrote 4 words that would change aviation forever. Now everyone can fly! This wasn't just a slogan, it was a declaration. He dropped the frills. Targeted secondary airports that others ignored. Gatwick, Manchester, Riyadh, lower fees, faster turnarounds, more access. It was bold, unconventional. But he wasn't trying to impress boardrooms, he was trying to move people. 12 years later, AirAsia returned to Europe. The same continent that once laughed was now watching closely. 700 million passengers later, billions of dollars in valuation. A rebound from another global pandemic that few predicted. And a business that became more than just flights. A fintech business, delivery business, a super app that connects it all. And now, eyes are on New York, where Tony is planning another public listing. Not bad for a guy who started with one coin and did not follow the regular playbook. But this story isn't about airlines. It's about something far more universal. Tony didn't have big venture capital backing. He had conviction. He didn't have a technical team. He had belief. He didn't wait to be qualified. He moved. Today, you've got tools he never had. Distribution, design, leverage, global reach, artificial intelligence. So what's stopping you? This isn't about flying planes. It's about launching anything. Tony's story proves one truth. You don't need everything to start. You just need enough to begin. So what's your big $1 idea? That project in your notes folder? That side hustle you keep postponing? The skill you're scared to share? Start it. Not when it's perfect or when it's possible. Start messy. Start when you're not prepared. Start with what you have, because belief doesn't scale until you move, and motion creates momentum. Tony didn't ask, what if I fail? He asked, what if I don't start? And that made all the difference. So, one coin, one shot. What's your takeoff moment?
And so my last message to you is, don't let anyone tell you you can't do anything. You can do anything you want to do. And dream, because from some dreams come reality. If you don't dream, if you don't have ambition, you'll never achieve it. And never be afraid of failure. Life is great. Be positive. Make the most of your life. You only have one. And it's your life. Don't let anyone tell you what to do with your life. Thanks for listening.
The origins of this airline was really low cost.
Bought the airline for Ringgit, 40 million debts.
I said I have this idea of setting up a low-cost airline so everyone can fly. And we started AirAsia on December the 8th, 2001, with the 2 planes there, 254 terrified staff.
Our people is our biggest asset, and don't you guys forget that.
We have created lots of fantastic careers. And we made a lot of dreams come true.